Ladies and gentlemen, members of the press, welcome to another episode of the Live Painting Channel. My name is Warren Stokes, your host, and I'm delighted to be back after a brief hiatus for some renovations. And program today is going to be fun. We're going to start a new painting, always fun. But I thought I would review two or three of my favorite paintings that we've done recently on the channel, and also today marks a special occasion. This is the 12-month anniversary of the program. We've been broadcasting now for 1 year. We've produced over 40 paintings and have had a delightful time with all the participants and audience. And as I always say, bring your painting gear, paint along if you wish. So let me just talk a little bit about the Live Painting Channel, just in case this is your first time or just kind of as a review. The Live Painting Channel is really a venue for artists of all sorts. So you don't have to be a painter, but any artist of any venue or any medium. It's just a place to hang out, and we broadcast this every Sunday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. Welcome to join anytime. It's all free. I encourage people to chat and provide feedback. I get a lot of input as I paint these live. I also post these on Facebook and YouTube. And of course, we're broadcasting live on Twitch. Easy to find. Go to Facebook or YouTube to look for the videos. You just search for Live Painting Channel, and you'll find us. So let's get started. I wanted to share with you a little bit about a few of the paintings that I've really enjoyed doing lately. And by the way, special hello to Wyatt. Hey, Y guy. Can you see me? All right. Nice to have you in the program today. This is a painting that I particularly enjoyed because it helped me kind of re-experience some of the most fun times I've had with members of my family. We had a little 21-foot sloop. It was named Ruthie after my late mom. And we had so many good times on this, I did a painting of it. Actually, a couple of them. This one is a painting of the sloop Ruthie anchored off Blake Island. There's a nice little close-up of the boat. We used to pack that stuff with so much stuff that people would think we were living on the boat forever. In fact, some people came up on the dock when we were, I think it was somewhere up in maybe Everett, and we're all having dinner, barbecuing on the back in the cockpit, me and Amber and Jason, and they said, "Hey, what's it like living on a boat?" And we said, "Great," as though we've been living there forever. It was fun. We took quite a few trips, sailed around the San Juans, the Puget Sound, all kinds of fun. So this was a painting that I did to kind of help kind of memorialize all of that, and it was a lot of fun. By the way, this painting is proportioned at the 2.236 ratios. You'll hear me talk a lot about ratios. That's one of the classic kind of golden mean derived ratios. So it's a little bit of a very horizontal painting. It was a lot of fun. Show you another painting that I really enjoyed doing recently. Actually, kind of a series. Show you a couple of them. Just get kind of warmed up. So as many of you know, I'm fond of the French Impressionist movement back in the 1800s. So here was one that I did, which was a scene that Claude Monet painted often. And he painted this in there. This is one of the series of the Bridge at Argenteuil. This is a river on the Seine outside outside Paris, and oftentimes there's sailboats anchored there or sailing. So that was one of my, probably not my first one, definitely not my first one, but one of the most recent ones that I've done. That one was a lot of fun. I did a follow-up painting on this same subject, same exact place, but this one is the Bridge at Argenteuil from a different angle, and it was challenging because look at the perspective on that bridge. Wow, that was kind of actually challenging to capture all of that. And some different boats I really like, and in the background you'll see there's a little guy sailing. Here, let me zoom in on that. Guy in a little skiff sailing, fun. In fact, that was my first type of sailboat. I built a little 12-foot sailboat and sailed it a lot, and a lot of fun. But I dug up an interesting sketch that was actually of the same scene. But by the way, I've got to warn the studio audience, this may not be suitable for children. It's kind of a mind-warping little piece of artwork. But I want to show you something here. Check this out. So this I did, and let me check the date on it. 2007. Wow. But that's the same location. But in this case, it's kind of a cosmic pencil sketch of that area. You can kind of see the multiple universes colliding there. Whoa. Warning, not not for all kids, that's for sure. Anyway, you can tell I have a lot of fun with my art. So, that was just a little review to kind of get the audience warmed up here. And me, actually, because I haven't done a live painting in a few weeks. But now we're gonna start a new painting, and I've got some inspiration. All right. Hey, Sassy Pickle. Wonder if Wisconsin or anybody's out there, please chime in. I wanted to show you, first of all, kind of go to the beginning. You have to have a blank canvas. And oftentimes I'll think about, well, where does it all start? Where does a piece of artwork start? And people go, oh, you got to get your canvas set up or get your paints. Well, actually, I like to think of it as starting with something of a point of inspiration. All of my pieces have started with some type of inspiration. In this case, move that little camera out of the way a little bit. I'm starting with a pencil sketch I did way back when, in 06. And I'm going to do a rendition of this French Impressionist scene. Very cool. I have to research it. It's been so long. It was either Monet or Sisley. But this is a pencil sketch of one of the French Impressionists' works. And I've just really enjoyed it. I've had it hanging in my home and our studios for quite some time, since 06 really. So I'm going to do a rendition of that today. And I like it because it has a lot of architectural elements. It's got my favorite kind of theme of water and sky. No boats in it, but hey, maybe we'll add a boat, right? Huh? That would be fun. Are we ready to get started? Okay. I'm going to get my palettes going. I haven't even started my palettes today. So I'll show you some of the basics here. You know, I got a brand new little mini palette here we're going to start off with. And I'm going to use some basics. In fact, that's the brand of these paints. Basic phthalo blue, burnt umber, raw sienna. Of course, I'm going to add some yellow ochre into the mix. Ooh. And lots, of course, of titanium white. All right. And can't forget one of the most basic elements. In fact, I got to find it. Here it is. Always handy. Payne's Gray. Real nice shade of gray that I like. All right, so I'm going to start loading up my palette here with all the different colors that I just showed you. And I'm going to put the gray in 2 or 3 different areas on the palette because it kind of helps to pull things together. Sometimes some of these pigments act as kind of a binder of color. That's certainly true of gray and white. So I'm going to just load a lot of white in here. Oh yeah. Whoa, oh man, lots of white. Sounds a little interesting. All right. But I have this big giant thing of white. Oh yeah. This painting is going to have some red in it to make some of that reddish orange building look. All right. So inspiration, palette, then what do? Well, got to think of our composition, don't we? Composition, or how you place the elements in the painting. And, you know, there's no absolute recipe for composition. It's whatever pleases the eye, whatever pleases you as the artist. But I will say that, as I often do, I'm going to start breaking down the canvas into some geometrical areas. I don't paint usually with anything but rectangular or square canvases. And you might say, well, isn't that what all paintings are? Of course not. You could actually have a round one or an oval canvas if you wish. Now I'm working a little bit on the camera angles here, and if I could get a little studio audience and tell me if what I'm doing on the canvas in the close-up cam is kind of coming through. Like if I put that diagonal in there, and just make sure that you can all see that. Might be a little light. And again, thanks to a lot of my producers and fellow artists, including Jason, who's starting a new company called Space Buckets. Space Bucket is a great video game company. They're doing all sorts of wonderful work. Check them out. He also broadcasts on Twitch as well. And he's helped me set up a lot of my technology, which, by the way, I use Streamlabs for the broadcasting studio software. But let me just see if anyone's got any feedback on the view of the canvases and so forth. Framing on the main cam, okay. Let's fix that a little bit. Pull that down a little bit, see if I can fix that. Sorry, I'm still adjusting after getting back in my studio here for a while. Well, I'm just going to adjust the camera rather than the software here, so let's see how that works. There we go. Let me turn off one of these studio lights. See if that helps. Oh yeah, that might help both situations. All right. Well, we'll work on that a little later in my post-streaming session. All right. In any event, back to the painting. I gotta clamp my canvas down so I don't knock it off the easel. Let's do that. And then we'll get started on this old painting here. It'll be fun. So again, I'm just starting to lay out some composition. I usually start in a rectangular format with the main diagonal to the rectangle. And let's see if this is coming through on this cam. Not much to see yet on the close-up cam, but boy, it'll be exciting when we get that rolling. All right, and then I'm going to put in a couple of strategic points. Usually the right angle to that is a good little starting guideline. And these are just sort of ley lines to get my composition kind of dialed in, where I want the main elements of the painting to be. And trust me, it's not going to be exactly like the original Monet, not at all. But I'm gonna, you can see how I kind of use a T-square here and there to kind of pick up points of interest. There we go. All right. Now I'm going to be referring to my pencil sketch, which I've shown you before, but I'll kind of zoom it in there a little bit. That I had a lot of fun doing. Boy, that was a long time ago. I'm glad I'm coming back to that particular painting. It's going to be fun. Never done a painting of it, just a pencil sketch. And now I'm going to start actually sketching in some of the elements of the architecture and the water and the sky and such. One of the things in a picture like this, we got to establish the horizon line. So in this case, got a nice horizon line established, and I'm going to make it happen right here where this right angle to the main intersects. This will be my horizon line. And I've got some buildings we're going to put in, and I'm already liking it. Actually, this is fun. We're going to I'm going to use a felt marker to get a little more definition on that. But I'll show you what we're doing here and see if this comes through a little bit better on the close-up cam. So we're adding some lines here. We got the horizon line across here. There we go. I've got some verticals now established. A couple more in there. So I'm going to start sketching in the elements here the buildings, and kind of work from the back front, kind of the normal MO that I have. So across here is going to be the sky, and it's going to have several buildings, including what looks like a church. It'll be kind of fun to put in here. We'll do that right about here. This building. Here's some freeform sketching, then we'll hit the paints here soon. I like to do a little sketching, usually in a painting. Sometimes I just attack the canvas with just paint, but we'll see. See what happens here. Little church, some kind of steeply things going on up there. Some windows in it. Rooftop here. Maybe a little window peeking out there. Another building. Zoom in on that a little bit just to show the audience the sketching we're doing here. There we go. Some of that sketching. Yeah, the close-up cam is a little dark. I see that. We'll get that dialed in next show. But I'm just going to continue the sketching here and give me enough to start the painting. All right. This one I really like, is a bold, nice vertical right here on my favorite point here, that intersection. And that hits right about there. Rooftop goes here. Ooh, talk to myself a lot when I paint. Kind of helps me think it through. There we go. And I studied architecture when I was quite young in high school. I enjoyed architecture. I did quite a few projects in architecture, and I've always kind of had a fondness for architecture. And this guy has a little vertical coming down here. That's going to go all the way down here and across there. Oh, this is fun looking. You know what? I think I'll zoom in on the main cam just to give everybody a look-see on that. It just seems to be working a little bit better today. Let's see here. You can kind of get an image of what's going on. Yeah, there we go. There's some of that sketch work going on. Back out here with that cam. All right. Keep my sketching up until I'm ready to start throwing some paint on the canvas here. Vertical on that wall. Maybe it kind of goes back in like that. Now what's kind of fun about this one is there's a bridge that is going to kind of draw the eye into the painting. I really like the way that happens. And so I'm going to choose a point at which the bridge intersects the building here, and I'm going to say right there. We're just going to draw a nice little line here. And another one, the other part of the bridge. Wow, I'm already having fun just kind of getting this started. The bridge is going to have some arches in it. Not the bridge at Argentile this time. This is a different bridge. I'm not even sure what it's called. Get our arches for the bridge happening. And as they go back, they're going to get a little, what looks like narrower, but it's just the perspective that'll make them look a little bit narrower on each time I put one in there. These arches. Cool. One more right in there. And there we go. A couple of the main elements already going. Rock and roll All right, I'm going to just quickly sketch in some other architectural elements, and we're about T-minus 1 minute from painting. All right. Love the way these little buildings start making little patterns back in here, little checkerboards and diagonals and cool stuff. All right, and up in here, there's going to be some trees. Behind it all, sky. You know, and for now, that's enough really to get started on this little painting here. By the way, these paintings will often be produced in, some of them in literally one session, one hour. On an average, I think I spent probably 1.5 to 2 hours, sometimes 3 hours on a painting. Pretty quick. Pretty quick. It's fun. It's spontaneous. It's one of the reasons I use acrylics, by the way. All right. So I'm going to get some color going on here. And by the way, I'm gonna make a little bit more definition for some of the main elements here, so you can kind of see them. For this, I'm using a silver marker, by the way, and it helps, I think, in the broadcast to see some of that going in there. See all that? There you go. Really enjoyed broadcasting live. One of the reasons is it's just incredibly challenging. Every time I do this, it's like, oh my gosh, it's 11 o'clock on Sunday, or 5 till 11. I better have an idea in mind here, huh? And sometimes I literally come up with the idea like during the show or a minute into it, during the intro. This time I thought of this, probably a half hour before the show. All right. Okay, let's start adding some paint on the canvas. That's where it all comes in anyway. That's the fun. I'm going to raise this one up a bit. Yeah, crank that up. There we go. So, the background in this painting is got, guess what? Sky. Do some real basic sky work here. Sometimes less is more. That's what I say. Sometimes less is more. I'm going to add a little bit of this, just called basic blue, phthalo blue, some white. Let's get going on that. Got my brushes all ready to go here. In this case, I'm just going to start mixing and painting here. Let's go. Wyatt, are you ready? Why, guy? Want to see Grandpa? Yes, live painting channel. You know who this is. It's your Grandpa Warren, huh? Hey! All right, let's do it. Just putting some paint on the canvas here. I'm going to go up in here. Start putting in some blue. Paint the edges so we don't have to frame it. Sky will usually get lighter as I go down towards the horizon. So see, we got ourselves an inspiration. My old Monet sketch. We got ourselves some subject matter then. We figured out a composition that we liked, so we know where the elements are. We sketched that in. And now on a painting, I like to start with the farthest back part of the painting and work forward. And you'll see why that becomes a useful concept as we go through this. Just look at that. Just laying the paint on there. Nice and thick. Look at that. And then while it's still got a little bit of moisture in it, I'm going to start making the lower part of this a little lighter. just blending in some white into the blue. Notice I'm not trying to make anything perfect. In art, it's not about trying to make it a photograph. It's about, well, it's about whatever you want it to be. But for me, it's about having fun with the color, composition, and also the creative process just starts to kind of happen as it goes. That's kind of a neat thing to experience when you start into art, or as you do your different types of art. I did a lot of photography. I was a photographer in school, official photographer at some point, I think, for the school paper and stuff. And in photography too, it really helps you get an eye for composition. My daughter Amber has an amazing eye for composition in photos. I don't know if you're on the show today, Amber, but if you are, well, I always wanted to say how much I admired your photographic composition skills. Seems like you just could take a picture of anything and it looks like a piece of art. Awesome. Good job. All right. All right, we're getting there, huh? Look at that. We're just going painting like crazy here. And by the way, if you've just joined us, this is the Live Painting Channel. My name is Warren Stokes. I'm the host of the Live Painting Channel. We broadcast this on the Twitch platform, Twitch, every Sunday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. You can also find the recordings of these. We've done about 40 of them so far. 12-month anniversary, woohoo. And that you can find them on YouTube, Facebook, videos of all these, and check it out. Just search for the Live Painting Channel, easy to find. People ask me sometimes, is this like Bob Ross? I'm sure many of you know or have heard of Bob Ross. And I will say that I've been inspired by Bob Ross. He was prolific. Like, I did like 50,000 paintings on his program, and very well known for his little expression called happy trees. People say, "You're going to paint happy trees?" And I say, well, I don't know, we'll find out. It's not my trademark. Okay, so what is my trademark? I don't know if I have one yet, but I think part of what kind of the definition of who I am as an artist is an analog man in a digital world. So much art these days is done with computers and digital stuff, and not that I dislike that, I admire it greatly, but I grew up with analog world. That's what this is, real physical material to create my art. So I'm kind of branding myself as an analog man in a digital world. That's right. I'm going to lighten up this. Look at that. I mean, just check out the pigment rolling in there. This is the fun part of painting. Just the physicality of applying color, dark and light, and the brush strokes themselves become part of the fun and the unique intrigue of an actual painting. So, but I am gonna put in. Check this out. Ooh, some dark blue along the top. Add a little phthalo blue. A little cooler as we go up in here. Darker and cooler. Like I said, the sky tends to be a little darker the farther away from the horizon it is. Just tiny bit. Hardly anything you notice with your just looking around your world. But all these little things kind of help the mind see a believable scene. Unlike the little sketch I did that I showed you earlier, the psychedelic sketch. I don't know how believable that was, but that was a parallel universe thing. I might have to make that into a painting. I'm really intrigued by the concept of things like black holes and parallel universes, actually. But anyway, this program is kid friendly, so we don't go too far into that. Let's see here. What else we got? I'm going to check the chat panel. All right. Lots of people joining the show today. And again, welcome back. I'm delighted to be back on the Live Painting Channel, sharing my art and just the hangout experience of all you that come and join the show here. Hello, Tacoma. And daughters, granddaughters, family, friends, members of the press, everybody. Again, Glad to be back. So I'm just going to put just another gob of white down in here. I sometimes do sound effects with the paintings. There you go. Now we're going to let that dry a bit, because then I'm going to put some other things on top of it. But there we go. We just completed, one section of the painting. Now I'm going to start blocking in some of the other colors, the other colors, not primary colors, main colors, and I'm gonna check it out, do a little bit of palette creation on the fly here. I'm gonna get some of my burnt umber. Boy, I don't know if that sounds good. And raw sienna. And these are going to be the kind of earth tones that make up the building mostly. So there it is on the palette. Those nice earth tones there. And I'll tell you what they kind of look like. You can imagine. Anyway, I'm going to get a nice rectangular brush going on here, big one. Just a big rectangular drizzle brush. Check this out. We're going to make a first pass at this. Wait, I need yellow ochre. Hang on. All right, found it. I'm a little get back into order today. After a few week hiatus from renovation and whatnot. But I had to grab that yellow ochre because I really think it's got a place in my painting today. So we're just mixing up some of that yellow ochre with raw sienna for now. Are you ready? Everybody ready for a whole new color scheme? All right, we're gonna do it. A little white in there. Let's just go for it. Bold strokes. Whoa, right down the middle. Bold stroke. Bold strokes. Sometimes, you almost have to be brave in painting. Just go for it. Bold. There we go. There it is, another key element going in. Simple, but I like it. Oh, and I wonder if Marigold Star is in the audience today. Marigold Star. We had a good time yesterday building castles and apartments out of boxes. But Marigold Star is quite the artist. Boy, I've seen some of your work. It's good. I encourage you to continue your art. You do very well. But this is what it's all about right now. We're just having fun doing some layouts here. I'm going to kind of continue this color throughout some of the composition here. And then we'll get more and more in it, deeper into it. Right now it's pretty loose, I'm just getting the stuff some canvas applied to the paint, getting some color schemes going. We just, detail kind of evolves. You don't have to worry about it right out of the gate. Now, that's a good start. I wonder if someone in the audience could give me a kind of a visual on how well the main cam is coming through, the bigger picture. I want to see if you could, it looks kind of washed out actually from my lighting. I got to work on that. Tell me if you can see, for example, this nice tan color of these buildings in the main cam. Appreciate it. Okay, time to get into a little bit of gray. Yeah, and that's going to be the foundation for the bridge. A lot of gray in that. Kind of a gray stone look. So we'll get going on that. More white. Painting can be messy, so I always have a roll of paper towels handy. Don't wear any clothing that you don't want to get paint on. At least maybe the way I paint. Maybe it's just me, but I tend to get paint on everything. I don't know why. Oh, in fact, I've seen a lot of people, artists wear a smock. They call it a smock, kind of an overcoat. Maybe that's how I'll preserve some of my clothing here. All right, ready? Let's block in some of this gray throughout here. A nice big thick line of, I'll start kind of dark and then we'll lighten it up as we go. Just making my arches in the bridge. Close-up cam, yeah, let's get that going. We're just making the arches right now on this stone bridge over here. Remember, I kind of sketched it out quickly with a pencil, so I kind of have an idea where these want to go. And it's a living thing. A painting sort of has a life of its own. Sometimes things move around on you, or you want to change things. So don't worry about it. Just go for it. Get it started. It's the main thing. Get started. Pull the trigger. Go for it. Ooh, it's coming out pretty good. If I do say so myself. All right, and then we're going to have a much lighter part here of the gray bridge. Going through here. A little bit of bluish I put in there. A little blue. Same blue that's in my sky is in that gray, by the way. We're going to put quite a lot of paint in there. Wow. I mean, look at this. Look at this. How much pigment there is laying in there. Just fun. All right. Still working on that. Area of the painting there. And this gray is going to pick itself up in there, right there. Mix it in a little bit. That building. Some of these other buildings, like right there. Boom, yeah. Now, these aren't dry yet, but I kind of like that. That's just kind of picking up, kind of creating some shadows in these buildings here. Nice. Dark brown right here, just go for it. I'm just going to put a big old triangle of dark brown in here. It's another building. Just grabbed me to do that, just something that possessed me to just put that in right now. Bam. All right, we're getting a lot of these elements. It's really what they are right now, elements. This painting reminds me a little bit of the technique, the way I'm doing it at Cezanne. He was a great French Impressionist, very into these rectangular shapes. Painted a lot of the scenes like this. This is not one of his, but kind of neat to use the rectangular elements you see out there in the world to create just a pleasing visual, various types. Oh yes, oh yes. How about that right there? And I'm going to get a little smaller brush. We're going to put in part of the church steeple, which will be fun. Up in here, right up in this area, we have ourselves a little church thing going on. Just getting the basic shapes in right now. This painting will probably be done in about 2 hours total. We'll spend a little less than an hour on it today, since I did a little re-intro back on that, but it's going to be fairly quick, in other words. I'm not trying to make a photograph, making a painting. I'm really having fun here. I hope you're having fun today on the program. Okay, well, some feedback from the crowd saying they can't really see anything, so that's thank you for the feedback. Gotta reset up my dual cam studio, but here's some of the imagery if you look at the close-up. Some of the stuff we're working on, mainly just getting composition going here. And if you join us on Twitch, helps if you like the channel. That way I can eventually get enough, or follow it, I guess it's called on Twitch, and follow me, and then get enough to where I can post the videos on Twitch. So yeah, follow me on Twitch too. Help get me more followers so I can eventually be posting these finished videos on Twitch. And move in a little bit with this cam. Alright. We're going to start adding a little bit of, just a little bit of detail down in here. We've got some vegetation and some stuff coming out of these little tunnels under the bridge. And we're starting to see some vegetation show up over here. I'll just put a little bit here and there. To be determined. Now I've got to actually come back and do the water before I get too deep into that. All right. So again, we're working on the first phase of a painting that is based on a pencil sketch that I did some time ago. Here's what it might end up looking like in the painting. French Impressionist painting of some very nice architecture, bridge. I gotta get, you'll see, we got some other elements to put in there. Ooh, very fun. All right. Yeah, I'm going to be working on the adjustments on the exposure on these cams. I'm just resetting up my studio, and all my studio lighting isn't quite back in place. But I really appreciate all the feedback. Like, if you can't see something, let me know. Right now I'm just kind of doing some manual zooms and stuff to kind of give everybody an idea of what we've been working on here. So this is a scene from a village in France. And it's fun because it's going to have quite a few visual elements, and I just found it very pleasing. And as I said, I did a colored pencil sketch of it quite some time ago. And there's a bridge leading into the village. Oh yeah. And we're going to let this paint dry for a while. Continue. Oh, what a nice session here. I'll do a real quick zoom, one more zoom with the close-up cam. We've just been putting in some detail of the bridge. Mostly just working on getting our visual elements established. And I'm going to wrap up this session by coming back to the sky a little bit, because I want to add some compositional elements, but also some fluffy little clouds is what they're going to be. All right. So right in here. And maybe a few right up in here. I just love the way skies look when they have these nice, I guess these are happy clouds. Okay, I said it, happy clouds. I'm putting in some happy clouds, that's right. And they're just floating by. Not a care in the world if these clouds, they're happy. Okay, I'll cut off on the happy cloud thing. But that's the idea there. I got some little friends that live over here. All right. And that's just the basic cloud formations, yep. And while we're at it, to finish this thing off for the moment, it's not a done painting. We've got another session to go on this. We're going to go ahead and put in some green. I'm going to switch it up and use a green I haven't used ever. Well, it's the green I always use. Take that back. I'm using Hooker's green again. I don't know where they call it that, but it's a nice green, and I'm using it again. I'm just going to put in a little bit of imagery of some trees, and just to get the start on that. These are living right over in here. Here. Notice I'm just really just attacking the canvas and putting some daubs of paint in there. I'm going to put a little bit of that down in here, right in here, right in here. And we have a great start going on this painting, let me tell you. Now, in case your mind can't imagine it, it'll eventually end up looking maybe a little bit along the style of this painting here, where we have, a completed painting of bridges and boats and houses and such. I think it'll end up being along the same style. Just trying to do that follow the Impressionist style, the Monet style. And it starts loose and free. All right, so, it's top of the hour. I want to thank everybody for joining another episode of the Live Painting channel. My name is Warren Stokes, your host. I enjoy it every Sunday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. Tune back in. You can find us by searching Live Painting Channel, and there's about 40 of these videos on YouTube. You can find them on Facebook, and join us live on Twitch every Sunday at 11 a.m. Thank you all very much. Have a great day.